The manager of the Pittsfield, Massachusetts Little League team is Joe Skutnik, and his team had a heck of a run, man. They lost in the New England Regional Championship game yesterday, 3-2, and wait to hear how. 3-2. It was the first appearance in the New England Regional for a Pittsfield team, and they won. They were going to Williamsport, which is the goal of every 12-year-old Little League baseball team around the country. You get to the 12-year-old team, that's your goal. Are we good enough to make a run to Williamsport? And, Joe, your team certainly was good enough. You come up just a little bit short. Good morning, Roger Weiland, along with Chris Honorado on Big Board Sports, ESPN Radio in Albany.
Good morning, boys. Thanks for having me.
What a game yesterday, Joe. I mean, heck, you had all kinds of chances. That goes in the books, and I'll let you describe what happened. It was a crazy sixth inning, but you lose by a run, and you had so many chances where you could have won that game yesterday.
Well, yeah, we did. Just some unfortunate things happened. They have these breakaway bases for first, second, and third, and when Cam Syme hit the ball over the left fielder's head to lead off the bottom of the sixth, he slipped off that bag, and he decided he was going to keep going a second, and the kid out there in left field, the Llama kid, had a pretty good arm, and we knew that. But, it's the heat of the moment. Cam's trying to get on second base. That would have been huge. Just trying to tie up the game. And, that's what happens. I had to go out. I said, what the heck, I'll take a shot and do instant replay. But upon looking at the replay when I got home last night, it was a pretty easy call.
So he was thrown out at second. Then your next batter, Owen Salvatore, reaches on a throwing error, and then he was thrown out trying to go to second.
He was thrown out trying to go to second. See, we were on the first base side, and the ESPN camera thing has this little camera well or area that, so I couldn't see up the right field line. But then I saw Owen take off, and Owen was safe, but the kid held the held the tag on him, and he went into the bag so hard that his foot came off the base as it skimmed along the top, because the umpire initially called him safe. So we thought we were in pretty good shape there, but
they reversed the call.
Oh.
Joe, the bad breaks really, they didn't start in the sixth inning, as you well know, and I was communicating back and forth with Howard Herman, a little bit of the Berkshire Eagle, and he was giving me some details on the game outside of what I was able to watch actually on ESPN yesterday morning. But that bad hop at shortstop, I know, was kind of stuck in your mind, and that's the real reason why Rhode Island was able to get two in the third inning.
Yeah, that is true. Cam, if anybody's seen Cam play all year long, he is a steady shortstop, and I don't think he's had an error all year long when we've had him play there. And earlier in the tournament, I think in the first game, yes, against New Hampshire, he took a hop that whacked him in the jaw, almost in the same place. And so, he was right in front of that ball, and the stupid thing took a 12-inch hop and went right over his glove. If he had gotten that would have been the second out. And subsequently, Evans struck the kid out two batters later or something. Right. So they would have had nothing. That was when you say the bounces didn't go our way. They didn't go our way. Yeah,
but what a run! I mean, you're a little down and out right now. And I'm sure the players are, but at some point next couple of weeks, you'll look back and go, man, to get where you were yesterday is you pushed a lot of right buttons in terms of having enough pitching and really just eating, sleeping, and drinking baseball. All the practices I know you must have had, Joe. You're going to feel really good about what this team accomplished at 12 years old.
Well, we we thought that we had a team that would at least get to the state tournament. With the pitching that we had, which is probably the best we've had since 2000, I would have been really disappointed if we didn't get to the state tournament. And the kids did great at the state tournament. The state tournament is the toughest tournament of them all to win. There are no days off. You play 4 games in 4 days. For us, we don't get to go back to our houses and sleep in our own beds, where a couple of the teams down there are able to do that. So in my mind, that is the toughest tournament to win. And then, we got lucky enough to win that one. And we had the same approach down in Bristol. We're going to throw guys that have gotten us here. And, boy, they just did a great job.
We're joined by Pittsfield Americans manager here. Pittsfield, Massachusetts gets all the way to the New England Regional Championship game yesterday. It's the first time a Pittsfield team has gotten that far in the Little League World Series, 1 win away from Williamsport. Joe, we talk so much about the kids. How long have you been managing Little League Baseball, and what is the satisfaction like for someone like you watching these kids succeed?
Well, I have been managing since 1998. Another coach, Ty Peralt, has been managing longer than that. We got together in 1999 and did an AllStar Team, and we've been doing an AllStar Team every year after that, whether it's been a 11-year-old team or a 12-year-old team. And I think the fun of it is, as we've been doing it longer, the kids believe in what we tell them they have to do to get to a point that they would want to get to. So I think for us, it's kind of simple. You got to practice every day. You got to take 100 swings every day. You got to go hit in the morning, and then some defensive practice at night. But the parents and the kids have always been great. The satisfaction is, going to watch them play in high school or even in college. I mean, Ty and I have taken some rides in the past to go watch the kids play in college, and I think that, for us, is what makes us keep doing it.
Joe, I am in Colony, Little League. My son will be 12 next year, so we're hoping that we can put the best team on the field and make a run with our group. We have good players, and if we all come together, we could make a nice run next year. We'll see how it plays out. But my question to you is, how long has this group been together playing? I mean, has this group play travel and All-Stars? Has this group been together? You don't just throw these teams together and all of a sudden at 12, you're 1 win away from Williamsport.
Oh, you're right, Roger. This team right here started really last year as 11-year-olds. Ty and I took this team of 11-year-olds last year, and we said, what the heck, let's just see what we got. We didn't have the best players in the league, but I called them the Bad News Bears when we first got together. They couldn't catch a ground ball. You hit them a fly ball, it's like, did anybody teach you anything in our league here? I mean, so it was, that's the way it started. And, they worked hard, that group of 11-year-olds, and we ended up as one of the final 4 in the 11-year-old state tournament. And we had 4 kids, 4 11-year-olds that were playing up on the major team. So, when this year started, we kind of looked at it and said, with the core and all the work they did last year, we may have something here this year. And we did do a little travel baseball this year because I felt that we would get to the state tournament. And, travel baseball, if you go away, you get to stay in hotels and stuff. And I think that's part of getting ready for these tournaments because, like I said, in our case, we never get to play close to home for any of these tournaments.
Well, it's a great story, Joe. And Joe, you don't have a son on the team, as you're kind of like manage the 11 and 12-year-old All-Star team every year. Is that how it works with you in Pittsfield?
Well, in Pittsfield, the winner of the league gets to manage the next year's All-Star team.
Yeah, I heard about that.
Unless he moves on, then it's a vote. And so, like I said, Ty and I have been fortunate enough every year, really, to do either the 11s or the 12s. My son played in 2000 when we were down in Bristol.
Okay. And you're still enjoying this enough that you still coach so you coach the rec. Your rec team wins the league, and whoever wins that whole league gets the All-Stars.
That's correct.
Yeah.
That's right.
Well, you know what? When they get a new president over at Colony Little League, I may bring this up to the board and see what the reaction is to that. Sometimes we have difficulty in selecting managers.
Well, you know why we did it, Roger? We did it because if you wanted to then, watch as many games the next year, you kind of had a better idea of, who you were looking at and, that whole thing. I mean, when you pick a manager for the current year, maybe some of those managers are only watching the games that they, play the kids against. I mean, I went to every house league game this past year.
Well, it's all paid off, man. It's a great story. It's too bad you came up a little bit short, but Joe, great run, and we appreciate a few minutes. A great story with your Pittsfield Little League team.
Thank you, Roger. It was a blast.
Yeah,
it
man,
really was.
I'm sure it was.
Anybody that can get there, their memories will be forever.
No doubt. We're going to give it a shot next year for sure. Appreciate your coming on for a few minutes, Joe. Congrats.
Thanks, guys.